Paolo Barilla has repeatedly said that he wants the company to remain a family business. Well, he's right here, so let's ask him why. Paolo, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, it's very interesting, to see actually the price and inflation having an impact on costs all around the world. But this must be a concern for you in terms of how you actually make the pasta and, of course, the packaging.
Yeah, it's making the business more complicated, but we always think about the relation we have with the people, with the consumer. And that is very disturbing because people will never understand why the prices so dramatic increase in a very short time. We would like to work in a stable environment and just working on product quality and good nutrition. And this effect of the cost increase, it complicates all the story. How careful are you to actually not pass on these costs where it's getting more expensive to live everywhere in the world? We see austerity measures. Do you have to make sure that you price your pasta at a level where consumers will still want to buy it? Well, of course, we have to be very careful because anyway we are competing, against some other brands. And we want to offer the best products. Best product is always quality, but it's related to price. What we try to do is to save some money to become more efficient, but unfortunately then we have to compromise and sometimes we have to go for a price increase.
Talk to me about your expansion plans, because you want to become big in the United States. You're already big in Europe. Why the United States? Is there a changing of the way that they actually eat and eat pasta?
Well, US, it's a lot of a big market for us, and we think we can improve our position. And the Americans, they like pasta, and now pasta is becoming more and more on the trend because it's very nutritious and it's very healthy. So for good nutrition and to keep health will be very important. And
so this big push, you're putting 400 million into the US market, to build your brand? Because it's a very competitive market. How do you become the #1 in the US?
Well, people like the authenticity and the story about an Italian company that is bringing a good product to US. And so I think that it's goes back in history because a lot of immigrants from Italy went to US and they made Italian products very popular. So that is what we enjoy today.
What about the emerging markets? Now, you said it was quite funny. The Chinese don't want to eat pasta. They want to stick with noodles.
Well, Asian people, they want to have some lifestyle that come from Europe or the Western world. But in terms of food, they have a strong tradition, and we never go against tradition. So probably we have to study the market and to enter with something that represents the Italianity, but maybe it's not pasta. Maybe it could be something else.
Now, how important is it for you that Barilla remains a family business? Because we're seeing a lot of family businesses in Italy, even Pomellato, and there's always this talk about being approached by a bigger group. Have you been approached?
No, because people know that we don't want to...
You're not for sale?
No, we are not for sale, and we would like to keep the company, first of all, solid, strong, healthy, with a good reputation, and if we can do all this by ourselves, we will be very, very happy.
But why would you not sell? If someone came in with a very good price, would you still hold on to it?
No, because we like to produce pasta, so we don't want to change business. Because anyway, at the end, you have to work, and it's better to work for your history, for something you believe in, for a good product you think like the product we make, so we are happy with that.
And your biggest concern today is what? Is it inflation? Is it this expansion into new markets? What keeps you up at night?
It's this yo-yo system about all the costs and all the implication between weather, financial environment that is affecting the business, so it's very complicated because it changes everything in a very short time. It makes life difficult for everybody.
And of course here in Europe, some could say, well, because pasta is quite cheap, maybe people buy it more in austerity, when there's no growth. Have you seen any correlation between that?
Not a correlation because it's, like the lotteries. They had a lot of increase because people think it's a good investment to try to face difficulties like gambling. So it's very strange, but there is not a strong correlation between cheap food and crisis.